my question is that there's a lot of sensitivity from the male ego about the dominant type of personality. And I think that young women are very aware of this right now, and that affects the way they might behave or perform, like in any sort of work situation. That being said, like, what is your advice to them when that fear kind of wells up inside of them in a work situation that would influence them to like taper down their personality? And if so, do you have any examples from your careers where you may have felt that? And how can we work to degenderize that dominant type personality that somebody like me is celebrated for and somebody like you all would be insulted for?
I will start. This is a great question. I think it's challenging. I think it's one that I've answered over time. I was raised in a Pentecostal church, and for those of you that are familiar with that, there are very clear gender roles. But I also was raised in an environment, and most of us were, right? Like at this point, actually, statistically across the country, you have more women-led households. And so we're raised in a space where women are leading in every way, paying bills, setting rules, and are expected to hold roles of subservience. So I don't say this to say that it is simple, it is hard, and it has been lifelong. But I do think for me, I go back to that religion. And I always ask myself, what did God have for me to do? I am dominant and I am bold and I am strong, but God made me that way and God made no mistakes. And so for me, a lot of times it is about being the me that I was created and reconciling that in the workplace and in other places. And I think it's a personal decision that young women are going to continue to have to make. I think it's a little easier. I've got a daughter who is 19 now, and I feel like things are a little bit better, but they're still there and it's still challenging. But I think you got to figure out who are you meant to be, and be that.
I'd like to add
Sorry, that one hit home. Sorry.
Yeah, that was great.
I'd like to add a little tiny note. I feel that as a female that's constantly in a masculine environment, I think the first thing we need to do is we sort of need to let the distraction that we have in our own minds, we need to clear it, right? Because if you're distracted by what's happening, then you're projecting those things. That energy, that sentiment is being projected onto anyone that's looking at you. And they're not going to take you serious. If you don't take yourself seriously, you don't have respect for yourself as a human being. Like I said, you have to sort of disassociate the whole concept of male versus female. You're human, you're an individual, you have something to contribute, you are valuable. So for me, I just think you need to look and move forward with that mindset. Yeah, do we have the moments where people automatically separate and just assume because you look and you are a female that you're unable to contribute? That's okay. That's their problem, not yours. You're not there to prove everything out there to them. You're just there to say, here's what I can present to you. Take it or leave it. It's an opportunity that you can either accept or walk away from. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain.
Yeah, and beautifully said, ladies. Totally agree. And I would just add one other thing that I know, sometimes I faced earlier on in my careers, especially when you're kind of in a group setting or in a group meeting, or you're, just amongst more people, and speaking up, just even if you're uncomfortable, even if you are shy, or you feel like, oh, there's a lot of voices, I'll just wait. Just get in there, just ask a question, make a comment. The more and more we do that, the more and more you all do that, you'll just feel more comfortable and it'll become more natural. So don't wait. I would say start today, and just always speak up. And it could be just, like I said, be a light comment. It could be a question. It could be something you're curious about. But as you speak up, the more and more you do that, you'll start to feel more and more comfortable, and you'll just kind of naturally step up into that.